Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm a skin-covered skeleton.
That's really spooky, and I don't want anything to do with that.
Hey, you know what's even spookier, Ben?
What's that?
There's a skeleton inside you.
Gross.
Right now.
No, I don't want that.
Moving around.
That's nasty. And it's all covered in, stuff.
Yeah, and its skull is moving and rattling as you speak.
No, I don't. Ew. That's gross. Stop with your body horror.
Just telling you facts.
So what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Work.
Work. Just work.
Anime. D&D. A little bit of Overwatch.
I
did not get the Banshee skin. I'm very upset. I got a bunch of others, but not the Banshee skin.
Well, you got till Halloween to figure that one out.
No, I know.
Plenty of time. So I hear you watched some of the shows that we, quote-unquote, recommended.
If you mean some, you mean one, then
just
yes.
One? I figured you'd watch at least two.
I did not have time.
Well, which one did you watch?
I watched, what is it? Double Decker.
Oh, which one was that?
That's the cop show with Ansem.
Oh, that's right. The one with, the crazy outfits?
Yeah, the outfits are crazy.
So how did that pan out for you?
Yeah, it could be okay. It seems like it tries too hard, though.
Oh.
When I first told you, the outfits are too crazy, and I watched the POV, and it's like, oh, this is like a cyberpunky type thing, so, it's always dim and dark. Mm-hmm. That's not always the case. So the outfits are a little out there. It's trying slightly too hard, I feel.
Ghost in the Shell is like a dim, dark type of thing, and in that series, they're, in a brightly lit office, half the time.
No, I know, but, they also don't wear ridiculous outfits.
I'm pretty sure the Major is always wearing a ridiculous outfit.
I mean, that's fair. But, it's pretty cool. The character designs are pretty nifty, and as much, crap I'll give the anime clothes, they're pretty cool character designs. But, I just don't know about it. It seems like it could be okay. It reminds me of a bunch of other, future cop shows.
On a grade of F to A?
Oh, a C+.
C+?
It's better than, your average thing. It's at least unique.
Well, it's got that going for it.
And, it's been a while since we've had, a Noir cop show like that, a future Noir cop show with a touch of humor in it. So that's nice.
What was the last one of those we had? Maybe...
Oh, golly, I don't even know.
Darker Than Black, maybe?
Yeah, it's kind of... It's not as good or as... It's not as subtle as Darker Than Black was. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. In the same sort of vein. With a little bit of, Lane in there.
Well, I actually had, since we did Yamishibai this week, and that's not too terribly long.
It's very short.
So I had time to watch 4 first episodes of stuff. So first one was Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, how was that? Does it live up to the hype?
It depends on what kind of hype you're looking for. Is it realistic? And I think the word that I heard a friend describe it as was visceral. Then yes.
I think grimdark is the appropriate phrase.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it was grimdark. It definitely has grimdark-esque stuff in it. I'm not going to give anything away because that would reduce the shock value, but a group of novice adventurers go into a goblin cave when they shouldn't have, and things go badly. As
there won't. Okay, on a viscerality scale of 1 to Made in the Abyss.
Close to Made in the Abyss.
Oh, that's pretty visceral.
So I'll put it to you this way. Imagine you're doing D&D campaign, right? You got all level 1 characters, but none of them know how to play. And you're just being the biggest jerk DM in the world. And they're I've got these 4 level 1s, and they're going to fight goblins, as you do. But all the goblins are going to be CR1, and I'm going to have 20 of them.
That does sound like the D&D game I'm currently in, to be honest. So,
so that's what's going to happen. Also, we're going to have some giant goblins as well, until the Goblin Slayer shows up and, as his name would imply, slays
said goblins.
Yes. I do like that there's a little, super novice, very optimistic girl that, joins his team. So that might be interesting. But I don't even remember her name. I don't know if it was important.
So is it like a grim comedy or
There's no comedy in it yet.
Okay. I just don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know. There was no character development other than sucker punch. Here's what we're doing now. Get used to it.
Fair enough.
So I'd probably give it a B tentatively. I need to see another one to see if it's any good.
Sure.
The other one was the Slime Show.
How was that? Was it delightful or was it like garbage?
It was a bit of a slow start, but it's pretty silly, and I like where it's trying to go.
Okay. I mean, it could definitely be like a delightful silly and not just hyper garbage.
So the guy gets murdered, right?
Sure.
All episode 1 spoilers deal with it. So the guy gets stabbed, but as he's dying, he's like thinking of things he wished he had done in life. And whatever is transporting him to this new world is like, oh, that's a thing you wanted? I'm giving you a new skill. And so he gets all these skills that sort of precipitate the fact that he's a slime. But he's a pretty overpowered slime.
Okay, so he's like a golden slime.
Kind of. And he ends up in a cave, which has a storm dragon sealed inside of it. And he makes friends with the storm dragon, who turns out to be Super Tsundere.
As you do.
Yeah, it's probably worth watching. I'd give it a B+.
Sure.
Then I watched the Neighbor Vampire Show.
How is that? Was it adorable?
It was adorable.
Did they hop?
She didn't hop. That was sad.
Well, beans.
I'm a little let down that the title is Vampire Neighbor, but the vampire is not actually her neighbor. She actually lives way over there, and then the girl moves in with her.
Okay, so it's more like roommates or flatmates.
Kinda, yeah.
So is this just what we do in Shadows?
Not quite. The one girl, like the vampire is super stoic little lolly, as you would expect from Vampire Show.
As you do.
The other girl is super ginky, but all the comedy centers around how insane she is, because she's pretty nuts.
Okay.
So it's lighthearted.
I was in for vampire-based humor, not.
There is some vampire-based humor, but it still centers around the vampire's the straight one, and she is the other part of the manzai.
Gotcha.
The boge. That's what she is.
All right.
So B, if you like light comedy, then that's your thing. She drinks blood out of a teacup that she warms up in a microwave. Come on.
Oh, you go, Kyuuketsuki-san.
I know, right? And then the last one was Zombie Saga.
Yeah, how was that?
Again, I'll have to watch another episode, but I think everybody here has seen the first minute of that show. It's where she gets hit by the truck. I think everyone has seen that. Apparently, they kept that fact hidden from all of their promotional material. Like nothing about the plot. They were leading on that this was going to be a girl fights zombies situation.
When it's girl is a zombie situation?
Not only is she a zombie, but she's brought to life again 10 years in the future by a strange megalomaniac man who won't tell her why she's a zombie. There's also 5 other zombie girls who aren't really like, they're typical zombies. They just sort of moan and move about. And and why he brought them back is he wants to make a death metal band with them.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess they would be literal death metal.
So you remember Backstreet Girls?
Yeah.
Right? The one where Yakuza got sex changed, turned into a idol group?
Yeah, sure.
I was expecting a lot of like absurdity and silliness from that show, and I got like none of that.
Yeah.
But I got all of that with the first episode of this show. Like this is what I was expecting the other one to be.
Well, that's nice.
Also, it has death metal in it, so
hey, I'm a fan.
And they're really good at singing death metal because they just grab microphones and scream.
Well, that's good.
So I will give that one an A until I see the second episode. Then
you'll.
I'd say that one probably lives up to its hype so far.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, those are the ones I've seen. I was kind of hoping to hear about the Release the Spice or whatever it was.
Release the Spice.
Yeah, you had a whole thing about spice.
Spice. I mean, the spice must flow. That's true. Oh, that one. The 90s show. What is it on? I don't think it was on anything.
Was it not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
and I was going to watch Archery Show, but its first episode doesn't come out until, next week. So.
Nope. Not on anything.
Beans. But it looks so 90s.
So weird. Well, maybe you'll get a shot at some point to see it.
Maybe. We'll see. So speaking of dead things.
Dead zombies and other spooky what's-its.
And other spookums.
寄ってらっしゃい見てらっしゃい闇芝居の時間だよ
So this week, with Halloween just around the corner, we decided to do the entire 6th season of Yamishibai.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Which took me like 40 minutes.
Yeah, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Technically an hour.
Yeah. You got to remember, they're all about like 4 minutes of content.
Yeah, and then you also cut out the ending theme. Yeah,
that's like a whole minute right there.
I know, right? The ending theme this time wasn't as good.
No, it wasn't.
As previous ones have been.
I only listened to it once. It's not like the first season. That one was great.
That one was very good. And then like season 3, I think also had like a really good.
Which one was Hatsune Miku? Was it 1 or 3?
I think it might have been both. Used Vocaloid.
I don't think this one did.
No, it didn't.
That's a little sad.
At least it didn't sound good.
I mean, there's no real spoiling Yamishibai. It's 4 minutes. You should just go watch every single one of them. Like,
just go watch them, man.
But we're going to spoil the crap out of all these.
Yeah, of course, because I mean, they have a twist, and the twist is where the horror is, because they're very predictable. So I gave all of them a letter grade.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And overall, how was this season?
You know, it's all right. It was really good near the end, but there were a couple like real stinkers. I only have one F, but I have a couple Ds. The last 3 episodes I all gave Bs or B pluses. I thought the last 3 were pretty solid. And it starts off strong. The first episode I thought was really good.
What I did was when I thought that maybe we would like just do what we did last year and do a couple episodes, I just starred the ones that I thought would actually be worth talking about. And I have 4 of those.
That's fair.
But I think I could throw like 2 or 3 more in there as like definitely worth watching. But you're right. There are several that are just, what was that?
Yeah. I subscribe to the No Sleep podcast, so I mean, I get a lot of horror content in my life, a lot more than your average person, I would guess. I always forget that. I forget that. Whoops, I'm kind of a horror guy somehow because I listen to like 3 hours worth of horror stories every week. Plus, watch probably 1 horror movie a week.
So, I used to listen to No Sleep a lot. That didn't last very long.
It's okay. It's not for everybody.
Well, I think my problem was
they can be hit or miss.
We talked about it, I think, last year, and you were like, you should listen to this podcast. So I started listening to it, and I started on the special where they did the Whistlers.
Oh, I love the Whistlers. That's a good story.
That's a really good story. And then I listened after that, and they were just garbage.
Yeah, they're not all as good as Whistlers. Whistlers is still a standout. That was a really good episode.
Like, that thing freaked me out, like the entire run. Yeah,
I think the ending was a little weak, but the rest of it's like super solid.
Oh yeah, because I remember the journey to get there. It was great.
Yeah, there's like no reason for her to not survive, so it's a little lame that they're like, and she died. It's like, okay, I mean, come on.
I'm not sure I'm not sure that she did. It was pretty up in the air there at the end. But anyway,
I don't know.
Like the couple episodes after that were, there's a noise and there was a guy in my closet.
Yeah, I mean, some are good, some are bad. Like, what do you want?
There was another noise.
Bunch of random stories.
There was a guy in my floor. Like,
in my floor.
Really? Okay.
I mean, some are super great, some are super weak. So, I mean, you have to at least listen to the Search and Rescue series. Those are amazing.
I've not heard of that. Maybe I should check those
out. They're so good. Everybody knows they're good because, like, one of the No Sleep bingo card things is like one of the squares is blatant ripoff of Search and Rescue series.
Is the Search and Rescue series? Is that like the thing with the stairs?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm aware of the stairs. I think I've read those
are very
before.
Good. Those are very good.
It's like you read enough of those and suddenly you're like, I know these are fake, but are they? I don't know.
Well, because it's one of those things where it's like we grew up in the woods and it's like, yeah, the woods are scary. Don't go to the woods. The woods are bad. All right, but enough about the woods.
Yes,
we're getting too into the woods here. Let's bring it to Yamishibai. So I thought the first episode was pretty good. I gave it a B+. It started off strong.
So I gave that 1 of my stars, 1 of 4.
Okay, yeah. Thunderous Visitor was super solid.
So the point of Thunderous Visitor was you had a kid, he's a little small, and terrified of thunder, as I think most kids are. And his mom's hugging him and coddling him and sort of teasing him about it. And then he grows up, and she's no longer there. We assume that
after promising she would always be there if he's scared of
she left. She's gone. And he kind of is mad at her for it. And so late one night, there's a storm. And he's remembering that, hey, my mom told me that she'd always be here for me. And she's not. Sucks. But then he gets a weird phone call. Which happens a lot this season, by the way. A lot of weird phone calls.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. With landlines. Who has landlines? I ask you.
Well, better question is, I don't know if it's this episode, but there was one episode where the power goes out and it's a cordless phone. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend like that's a thing.
Yeah, but that's the spookum though, right? Like that's a spooky.
Yeah,
that's part of the spookum.
I suppose. Anyway, so he answers the phone, and of course, it's his mom. Haven't heard from you in years. Why are you calling me now, you jerk?
Because she wants to be let in.
Yeah, she's like, why don't you let me inside so we can talk about it? You're like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm here. Why don't you let me in? And he looks not at the front
on
door,
like his glass,
but on his balcony sliding door.
Yeah, and she's there.
And I love the way that the lightning lights her up from the back, and it's just this blurry image. I'm like, okay, I like that kind of thing because I can't see whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a spoopy.
You got to have that mystery there. His mom keeps telling him, let me in, because then we could give your father a big surprise. It'd be great.
Big
right?
surprise.
Haven't seen him in a while. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. This
is too much of a spookum.
And then he pulls back the curtains,
you, please.
And it's his dad, actually. Turns out. So he lets his dad in, and he's like, oh, sorry, I forgot my key. He's like, well, why were you banging on the window? He's like, I wasn't banging on the window. I just happened to get there as you opened the door. And then they realize that there's somebody else in the room. It's his mom. And the son's like, well, this is unexpected. But his dad's having a super fit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
His mom's like, so I really enjoyed the fact that you let me in, because now we can give your father a big surprise. And as the camera pans up, you just see these lines across her neck.
Yeah, buddy.
And then it just ends.
Yeah, it's good.
I really like it because
he killed his wife. She's back for revenge.
Well, that's the thing, is you don't know specifically that he killed her, but you're pretty sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's a whole story wrapped in there that wasn't spelled out, and I really like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the best kind of horror, right? Where you should always leave early in horror. Yeah. Something that a bunch of no sleep people need to learn. But okay, we'll not worry about that.
But also, it had a really good double twist.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
You're pretty sure that's his mom at the door, and then
you opens it, the double twist,
and haha, it wasn't, but it was.
But it was.
I like.
All right.
Yep.
Number 2, Tomonashi Cave. I gave it a D. I did not like it.
I did not like this one. I did not understand what in the world happened.
Yeah, like there were some like interesting things. See, the ones that we're gonna say suck, we're not gonna go point by point. We'll just talk about like how we don't like them or like what parts were confusing or dumb. So if you want the context for these, just go watch it. It's like 5 minutes of your life. Even if it's bad, it's like 4 minutes.
Girls go into a cave, spooky things happen, and then one of them turns out to not die, but then she's a traitor, and then the other one gets sucked into a wall.
Yeah, I don't know. What I super don't like about it is like there was no transgression on the final murder victim, and that's like a big no-no in horror.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't kill people for no reason.
And in Japan, sometimes it seems like there's no reason, but usually it's some sort of like
they shouldn't transgress somehow. I mean, they kind of all transgressed, but one girl was like bullied into doing it. So I mean, like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of iffy. I like the like final image though of like the friend's like head turning upside down.
See,
like,
I didn't like that,
but the rest of it was like fine.
It had a really good thing going for it, while like there was screaming in the back and you had no idea what was going on.
It built its tension well, and then it was just like, and
yeah, we're gonna kill the one chick somehow, I guess, by pulling her into a wall with some hands. And the other girl is possessed, maybe, with a weird head.
And maybe now she's free because she got another. I don't know. It was
all I remember from this, and all I wrote down was Tomoko is a jerk. Like that was the creepy head girl, like the traitor one. Like, okay, she's supposed to be the one's friend.
Okay, let's move to Wind's Warning. It was the only F of this season because there was a cat.
Oh,
it was not good. There was like no horror.
It was one of my stars.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you like about it then?
Well, so the thing is, there's a dude, he goes to his apartment, right? And then the door's open. There's wind coming through. He's like, oh, I forgot to shut it. So he shuts it and goes in the bath, and then it's open again. He's like, oh, this is weird. This happens several times. Then he tries to shut it one more time, and it won't shut at all. And he's knocked backwards. And then the phone rings, and he starts hearing like some really creepy noises. And he thinks back to his wife dying earlier. And he thinks maybe it's her. it starts saying shine, which means die. And he starts having like this overwhelming guilt because his wife just died like a month ago. And it's all because he didn't, I don't remember exactly why, but it had to do
He
with...
went out to try and find the lost cat.
Yeah, there was a lost cat, and she ended up dead somehow because he wasn't there or she wasn't there.
Like she went out to find it and she got hit by a car or something along those lines.
But as the phone call progresses, instead of being Shine and he's despairing, he's like about to kill himself because he's like, yes, I need to join you. It transitions to her actually saying Shimenaide, which means don't lock the door. And then the cat walks in. And it's a nice happy ending.
Well, yeah.
I liked the turn of Shine turning into Shimenade, because all these episodes, I mean, that's what Yamishibai is built on, is something creepy saying Shine, and then somebody dies. That's usually how it goes. So I liked the turn, and also the fact that there was a crazy dead cat lady.
I don't know. I thought it was super weak. I think it would have been better if he had killed himself and then we hear the rest of the phone call and it's like, oh, you're just supposed to let the cat in.
I would agree that would have been better.
That's better. That's way better. Because then you get the horror of, oh, he misunderstood and went into a depression spiral and killed himself.
That's what I thought was going to happen, but I was okay with that.
Not keeping the cat door open. Yeah, no, it was weak.
Aw, all right.
I mean, if you liked it, you liked it. Horror is so subjective that I can't. There's no definitive right or wrong answer with horror. It's an extremely subjective genre, more so than many others.
Well, I also like being subverted. So if I'm expecting like the worst case scenario and then it turns out to have a happy ending, I'm kind of okay with that.
But the happy ending was still pretty weak because it was just like, and the cat came in. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, she was saving the cat.
All right. Was she?
Because she's a crazy cat lady from beyond.
I don't know. Let's move on to 4, Swamp Offering. I liked this one.
Yeah, it's okay.
You like it?
My big note here was mother-in-laws. Am I right?
definitely in East Asian culture.
Yeah.
Because the big conflict in that is mother-in-law and new wife. And this one has it in spades.
As a couple is driving to mother-in-law's house, the husband explains to his wife that they have an old tradition that there's a swamp out back, and the whole community, I guess once a year, goes out and does this ritual where they throw their most prized possession into the swamp.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then the swamp thing is going to come and take your actual prized possession, which may not be what you want.
Yeah.
They get there, the mother-in-law is like the worst. Just
the worst. Just the dirt worst. Like, takes, like, her new daughter-in-law's, like, ring that was an heirloom from her mother's side, and she's like, you don't need this anymore because, like, you're a part of this family. I'm your mom now, not that other woman. It's like, oh,
it's like, wow. Jeez. Come on now.
Yeesh.
So then they go and they do this offering, and the wife brings just like this pin that she used in college. It's like, it's okay. It's fine. It's like B-class material here.
Yeah.
And she throws it in. But as she throws it in, she sees something else go flying by. It's that heirloom ring.
Yeah, that the mother-in-law is throwing in because she's like, this is your real precious possession. Lol, lol, lol.
And she just freaks the hell out and like runs away in tears.
But then when she gets home, her husband finds her like rocking back and forth being like, I guess that really wasn't my most precious thing. My most precious thing is my new mother-in-law, who I will cherish always.
And then no one can find.
And then flash forward to the next morning, and then no one can find her.
Except there's this trail of mud leading from outside the house to where the wife sits, rocking back and forth still.
Yeah, talking about her most cherished person in the world being her new mother-in-law.
I wasn't really sure what to make of that. I was like, it's hard to say. Did she use her mother-in-law's desire against her? Like, to get rid of her and say she was her most precious thing?
Oh, no.
Or did she just flip out and drag her mother-in-law to the swamp and drown her herself?
Oh, absolutely. That's the reading. Because her hands are all, there's the muddy trail, but then when we zoom in on the new wife, she has her ring back and her hands are all muddy. So yeah, no, absolutely.
I didn't see the
yeah,
ring.
And she's just using this as an excuse because she just murdered her mother-in-law, which was choice. Nice. Yeah, I like this. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it was a good one. I didn't star it, but I liked it.
I like it. Number 5, the dripping.
Such drip.
How did you like this one? Did you star it or no?
I didn't star this one. I didn't star any more until episode 12.
That's fair. Episode 5, I gave a C+. I thought it was pretty good. It had a good spookum.
It was okay.
I like a cursed item and a driven crazy by cursed item, and this did it well. And a cursed item that you took because you were a dick, so you kind of deserve it.
Yeah, so in this one, there's a guy at a convenience store, and he goes outside, it starts raining, or it is raining already, like big downpour, and he didn't bring his umbrella, but he sees one in the umbrella stand, and he glances over his shoulder through the window, and there's that creepy guy that he saw earlier, still reading a magazine. He's like, well, that guy was creepy, so he doesn't really need his umbrella, and I don't have one, so I'm going to take it.
Yoink, I'm a well-to-do salaryman, and that guy's a creepo.
Yep. Well, he doesn't need to get his suit wet.
I will say one of the good things about this episode too is there's some really good imagery. Like the creepy guy is super creepy looking, and then here in a bit with the umbrella, seeing it in the reflection, very good.
He's got his umbrella, and he's walking along, and he starts noticing there's scratches on the handle. Like, well, that's weird. And as he keeps walking, he walks by a big window, and he notices that there's a chick behind him, like in the traditional,
right behind him,
the slip that you get when you are buried, the white sheet, essentially. I will point out here that in the shots where he's walking through the street and she's following him, she looks like a hot ghost. I'm like, okay,
kind of woo woo woo.
Hot ghost.
She's also directly behind him, like under the umbrella with him, and that's very good.
Freaks him out. So he runs home, throws the umbrella outside of the front door, goes inside, and then he's just beset by this constant dripping sound. At first thinks it's coming from outside, so he looks outside, and the umbrella's back hanging on the door handle. Like,
yeah,
no, I don't want any of this. So he's like, this is stupid.
No cursed casa, please.
He throws it in the garbage.
Mi casa, su casa, though.
And when he gets back inside, he's watching TV. He starts hearing it again.
Because it's like a multilingual pun.
I get it.
Okay.
But this time, the dripping's only like the shower. Like, oh, good. It's just a shower this time. I'm fine. And then he hears it again. He's like, this freaking apartment, I swear. But then a drop lands on his leg. And he starts hearing a breathing sound from above him.
And it's a really good shot.
And he looks up, and it's the creepy ghost lady. And it's really creepy.
Super creepy. Yeah.
And this is the only part I didn't like, because her hair was like super scary. I realize that's the point, but it was just
the point.
It was hideous.
I mean, that's the point, though.
And then he goes crazy.
Japanese horror likes weird hair stuff. I don't know why. Some people get like super grossed out by hair. That's never been me, but I don't like the hair thing.
But then the guy goes crazy, and then there's a shot to sometime in the future. Now he's a creepy guy at the convenience store, and some fat slob comes outside. He's like, oh, I didn't bring an umbrella. Hey, look, here's one. And the cycle continues.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's like jerks get cursed by a cursed umbrella.
Oh.
I like it. B.
This
or
good.
C+. I gave it a C+, because it was like, it's like not, there's just lacking a certain something, but it was mostly there.
I should point out that the sound mixing in this one was really good, because you always knew where the drips were coming from just listening to it. Like, that one's outside, that one's inside, that one's really close.
All right, 6, Sakura.
Cherry Blossom. I gave not like this one.
I gave it a C. It's mediocre. It's fine.
It wasn't very good.
Whatever. It needed something else. Its punch was weak.
There's a lot of buildup where this guy was in a hospital bed, like he's confined there because his leg's broken, his arm's broke, and he starts hearing people on the other side who are like, hey, you sound like a cool guy, let's talk. So he talks to them for a bit, and then eventually they invite him over to come into their ward. He can't, because leg. And they mentioned something about the cherry blossom tree outside.
Yeah. It turns out the other room is empty, and it's haunted by ghosts who hung themselves on the cherry tree.
Yeah, which gets cut down like that, literally that morning. And I'm like, I don't know what the turn here was supposed to be. Like, was he going to go into the other room and then hang himself because reasons?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's not great. Did not like. It was like, it's fine. It's spooky enough, but like it's lacking.
I guess.
Just lacking. But it's not as bad as episode 7, Frog Eggs.
Yeah. Hey, you know what the punchline here is? Frog eggs
out his eyes.
Look like eyes.
That's it.
It's
creepy. Hey, you know what feels like eyes? Peeled grapes. Are you spooked?
So I'm told.
Ben, are you spooked?
I'm super spooked.
Okay.
You know what's even scarier than that?
What?
A big bowl of M&Ms, but also it has Skittles in it.
Oh. That's just cruel.
I know, right?
All right, episode 8, Sea Fortunes. This one is all right.
Oh, which one was this?
Not like amazing. I gave it a C. woman, man are going down a beach on a remote island. She finds a hidden shrine and she gets a fortune, and the fortune is good luck. But on this island, the ghosts tell her that the person who gets good luck means it's good luck for the island because they're going to be sacrificed for good fish. And she goes a little crazy. And then a guy goes to comfort her, and as she's trying to walk into the ocean to sacrifice herself, and when he pulls up her sleeve, her arm is tattooed with the good luck thing. So now he's the person who drew the good luck. Yeah, it's okay. It's like fine.
I like the idea behind it. I just don't think it was executed that great.
Same.
Because it was super weird and creepy, and it left a lot to be filled in with your imagination, which was really good, like the first one. But because it was doing this weird thing with like the fortunes, and we had one couple in the now, and we had another couple that it happened 20 years ago or something. Like there was a lot that needed to be explained, and they just didn't have time to really go into it.
It was a little weak.
So
episode 9 was a little bit better. Mud Games.
I didn't like this one.
Really? I gave it a C+. I thought it was better than 8.
So in this one, a woman's driving to pick up her daughter, and on the way back home, she notices that the kid's hands are all dirty, and the kid's like, "Yeah, my hands are dirty because I was playing in the sand." She's like, "Oh, what were you playing?" "Oh, I was making our family." She's like, "Oh, really? And then what happened?" "Well, then I got sad." "Well, why?" "Because I was playing with, the sand, and then you ended up dead because you were coming to get me, and then you died in a car crash, and then I died." The woman realizes that, oh yeah, that actually happened, and then her daughter was also dead.
Well, what I like about it though is them falling apart into sand. Like I like the sketch of the story that they both don't know they're kind of like weird ghost golems, but like the visceralness of her daughter just like slunching over into a thing of sand.
See, that was
and then
good.
Watching her own hands crumble away into a thing of sand, and then followed up too with like two people seeing a lump in the sandbox too.
There were two parts to this.
It's pretty solid.
Like the first part where she explains up until the point where, and then you died in a car crash, and then she like falls over with her head slumping off because she's made of sand now. Like, okay, that's creepy because kids, when they start talking like that, are exceptionally creepy, no matter where.
Very true.
But the second half, I don't really understand why things happen the way they did. Like, the woman herself wasn't anywhere near sand. But as she realizes what actually happened,
because she was made by her daughter, because I think that part of that still happened, right?
Okay, I could see
she was
that.
made by her daughter. Yeah, see.
But then the thing I don't get is the kid also dies, but we never know why.
Yeah, well,
it's like, did you?
Spook 'em.
What I was hoping for, which sounds awful, but she was going to go get her kid at the daycare, and like lost control of the car, and it ran over her own child.
Oh yeah,
and then she crashed into a tree or something.
Yeah,
it's like then it would make sense. But here,
well, you know what makes very little sense whatsoever?
What's that?
Episode 10. It was real bad.
No, it doesn't.
I gave it a D. It's bad. Do you want to just skip it? Because it's bad. It's kind of dumb.
Well, I want to say why it was stupid.
Ghost kids in a tree, and you never know which one's the ghost.
Twins go up a tree.
And somehow he forgot his brother died like 2 days ago.
Literally 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's like, okay, come on.
Two twins go up a tree, and then as they're playing in the tree, the mom comes out and is like, "Oh my goodness, get down. Don't do this to me again." He's like, "Oh yeah, my brother died last week. Silly me, I forgot." But then who was I playing with? And then you see the spooky thing.
And then who was phone?
I'm like, okay, so far, all right, I guess. But then he falls out of the tree. The live kid does. And the screen goes black, and then the mom is walking with him away, but then she drops a dead bird on the ground and has a creepy smile.
Yeah, weak. It's all weak. Just
like,
weak.
But what happened? There was a creepy thing, I guess. That was it.
Well, like the real live brother like fell and died, but then his body was possessed by his dead brother who wanted to live, maybe? I think that's what it was going for.
I don't know.
So now he is the ghost kid in the tree? I don't know. It's kind of weak.
Yeah.
All right, episode 11. I liked this one. I gave it a B.
I liked this one too. I prefer...
This one had a happy ending, but it was like good.
So in this one, there's a dude who is hiking in the mountains, and he's in a shelter. The blizzard has come in. It's really bad. And in the middle of the night, this old guy with a beard and crazy eyes comes in and just sits there and shivers. He's like, well, I can't, throw him out because there's a blizzard. he decides, fine, whatever, and he goes to sleep, and he dreams of past days where he was with his sick son and wife, and he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna get better, son. We're gonna go up in the mountains together, and it'll be great. And the wife is kind of sad. He's like, but what about me? I'll be all lonely at home. He's like, don't worry. When have I ever not come home? I'm like, really? You're gonna throw up that
Title
flag?
card, he did not come home.
Well, that light bulb's never burned out before.
I know, right?
So he wakes up. He's like, oh, I forget his son's name. He's like, yeah, son. And the guy's still there, but now he's like closer. And you think the guy is like the bad dude.
Yeah, you think the guy's going to be the creepy part, but no.
But then the dude's like, look, you got to believe me. No matter what happens tonight, don't open the door. No matter what.
Do not open that door.
And at that moment, there's a knock at the door. And it's his son. He's like, hey, I came to hang out
with you.
Yeah, look at me.
Please open the door.
I'm here. Come on out.
Open the door, and we'll climb the mountain together.
And the dude starts heading towards the door. He's like, all right, this sounds like a good idea. What's the worst that could happen in a blizzard? The other old dude tackles him. He's like, no, you cannot open that door. For reals, man.
Like,
I'm the last survivor.
And he's like, okay, then.
It's like, all right.
And he doesn't, but he's tortured by the sound of his son, like, wanting to be let in the entire night.
All night.
And in the morning, when he finally opens the door because the blizzard has stopped, there's like a snow lump outside the door.
Yeah, like a melted snowman-ish thing.
Yeah, and he just like goes to like hug it, and then the episode stops.
Yeah, and you realize that when his kid was in the hospital, he actually died.
Oh yeah,
and it was sad.
No, super choice.
But I really like this one because you get the terror secondhand from the old guy. And you never actually see the spooky thing.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea what's out there, but you just know that it's copying your dead son, and you don't want to let it in.
It's very bad. It's probably Yuki Onna. We all know those are trouble.
Oh, yeah. Always trouble. Okay. Episode 12, another B.
I gave this one a star.
Yeah, this one's good.
So this one, we got a group of 4 friends, and they're walking through the forest and end up lost. But then they find what they're looking for, which is this big old waterfall. And one of the boys is like, hey, I hear this waterfall is actually haunted because people apparently like to go to the top and then jump off. And one of the girls is like, really? Now you bring that up? Serious? Okay, fine. And then she realizes, I feel like there's somebody watching us. And someone's like, that's cool. Hey, how about one of us goes up to the top of the suicide waterfall?
Yeah, let's go up there.
So they throw rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go up there. And of course, it's the wary girl. So she goes up to the top, takes forever to get up there. Once she gets up there, though, she starts hearing something. And she sees on the other side of the water, there's a group of kids who are lobbing rocks off of the top of the waterfall.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, kids, maybe
you
shouldn't.
So here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to, like, pick her up and throw her off.
See, that's what I thought. And so she starts yelling at him, like, don't do that. You're going to end up getting thrown off. But that's not what happens.
Or you're going to end up, like, hitting somebody with a rock, or you're going to fall off, is what she says.
So she's like, all right, fine. You guys get out of here. You don't need to be throwing rocks off. And they give her, like, the creepiest look. Because, again, kids are creepy.
Yeah, more or less.
And so they wander off, and she looks down. So she sees her friends waving and waving and waving. She can't really make out what they're doing. And she gets a text. And all it says is, run. Like, what are you talking about? And then she sees black shadows like climbing up the waterfall and climbing towards her.
Yeah.
And then it blacks out. And then we get back to the children are back throwing rocks over the waterfall. And one of them says, "Aw, they got to the top again. Now there's going to be another one." And then it ends.
It's good. It's good because you're like, the kids are still totally ghosts, but like their job is to like make sure that the real bad ghost doesn't come to the top and pull people down.
Yeah.
Real solid.
See, I like that. That's a good turn.
It is.
And then we have the last one, which I also starred. I liked.
Echoes. Yeah, I gave it a B+. I thought it was another real good one.
It was a real good one. Not so much because of the content, but just because overall, the whole time, I just felt creeped out.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, it's creepy from like beginning to end for multiple reasons. Like it just keeps like upping its creepy game.
So there's a pair of college girls. They've climbed up to another mountain. And because they're bored, one of them starts shouting and hears echoes. And she's like, hey, this is really cool. Echoes, because that's fun, right? And her friend thinks that's stupid. She's like, well, screw you. I'm going to keep yelling. And as she does so, suddenly she hears somebody else yell back. Some dude's like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, hey, that's cool. And he's like, where you guys at? And the girls are like, maybe we should stop playing this game.
Yeah, this is a bad game. And he's like, never mind. I found you. I'm on my way.
He's like, I'm coming to you. And the fog starts rolling in.
yeah. Real creepy, man.
And the friend starts like saying, okay, we really got to go because this is weirding me out because there's fog. Creepy dude is on his way. I don't want any of that. And the dude's like, hey, almost there. She starts seeing like figures in the fog.
Tons.
Lots of them. And one of them starts going, run away. And then a hand on the shoulder. And it's the first girl. Everything's fine.
I really thought the runaway was like the twist was going to be like they like trick her into like running off the cliff
Off
of
the
the
cliff?
mountain.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's what I thought where it was going, but I liked where it went anyway.
So the friend shows up and they're like, oh, good. I'm glad that that's over. And they start walking back down and talking about how silly the whole thing was. Suddenly there's fog again and the echoes are back and the shape starts showing up. She's sort of noticing this, but she's still talking to her friend who's slowly fading into the fog. And then she's like, hey, you ever wonder what happened to that one dude's voice we heard? And suddenly you hear, I'm here.
Yeah, like right next to her,
Like-
just like a shadow.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, bad news bears, but the episode's over, so she's in bad news bears land forever.
See, this is the kind of thing I like because it does a twist scare on you and sets up this false sense of security. We got a little bit of that with the first episode, but with this episode, it's set up really well because you think like she's going to end up off a cliff or some figure got her at the first time, but it turns out it was just her friend.
Yeah.
And the episode lulls you into thinking just for a moment that dude's gone or you just forget about him altogether. And then she just sort of brings it up again. Like, what happened to that guy? Right here.
It's like, I'm here.
It's like, no, thank you.
No thanks.
So overall, mixed bag season.
Yeah, it's all right. Like every Yamishibai season.
Yeah.
It's like some are real good, some are kind of iffy.
One thing I would wish they would do is because the animation is so cheap, I wish they would try having different artists for like each episode.
I feel like they do.
Still same
'Cause, like,
format, but
the art direction in each episode is significantly different. So I think that they do.
maybe
But-
it's just not too different.
Yeah, I wish they got slightly better people though, because some of it's kind of bad.
Yeah, the only thing I
yeah,
noticed
no.
between each episode is like the quality, not so much like how things look.
No, there's some character design differences.
Is there?
Yeah.
Maybe it's too subtle for me to have noticed off the top of my head. But anyway, it's still only 40 minutes.
Another season of
so
Yamishibai.
You should go watch it.
Yeah, it takes like minutes.
One thing I think we should do before we go is, I don't know if you came up with a list, but I thought it would be cool if we had like top 5 in no particular order spooky anime that we could recommend.
I think like we did that last time.
Did we? But I don't remember what we said.
I'm
So-
like pretty sure neither do I. But I imagine the list has not changed too much because the horror anime is not real big.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
It's
sure
moe
I've
blobs
seen
all
a
the way
couple
down.
more since then. So anyway, my list is Shiki, which is a vampire show. It's not great plot wise. There are a lot of plot holes, but it's freaking creepy the entire time. Like all the character designs are just there to mess with you all the time. Higurashi, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because
that's real good.
holy crap. Hellsing Ultimate because vampires and such.
Yeah, why not?
Boogie Pop Phantom because what in the world is
That's a good
going
one.
on?
There's going to be a new one, and I'm excited about it.
I think it's a prequel to the original Boogie Pop Phantom.
I think so, or just a retelling of the whole ordeal, because the original Boogie Pop Phantom movie has to do with like the end of like a light novel.
Yeah,
So-
it was like book 3 of a light novel series or something.
Yeah.
And then the 5th one was Petite Cassette, which I know some people hate to high heaven, but it's a
Yeah.
frickin' trip. Did you have a list?
No, man.
Arrgh.
I've been too busy.
I
What do you want
spent
from me?
tens of minutes thinking of this.
Tens of minutes. I had work.
Tens of minutes.
I came home from work and got down on my computer to record this.
You didn't have time to watch Creepy, more Creepy,
No.
and even more Creepy. Well, there's 5 for you anyway. You should go watch those.
There you go.
Just
Yeah,
had
go
a,
watch them. Sure, why not?
but what should we watch next time?
That's always a great question that I'm never prepared for.
So we actually had a listener request.
Oh, what was it?
It was a show called It was called Girls Last Tour. I know nothing about it, but they swear it's really great and that we would like it.
Well, what's it on? Where can I watch said show?
Amazon.
On Amazon. Send me a link. Let me see if I think it's worth our time.
Well, this is the Amazon link.
Here's the Amazon link.
So let me pull up the my anime list.
Oh,
synopsis.
Moe, is this Moe Blobs in Tanks?
Amid the desolate remains of a once thriving city, only the rumbling of a motorbike breaks the cold winter silence. Its riders are the last survivors of the war-torn city. Scavenging old military sites for food and parts, the girls explore the wastelands and speculate about the old world pastime.
Huh.
They struggle with solitude and etc. etc. Adventure, mystery, sci-fi slice of life.
I mean, sure.
Sure, why not? It's only 12
Girls
episodes.
Last Tour.
Among a scenery of barren landscapes and deserted buildings, Last Girls Tour tells the
It's got
uplifting tale
pretty good ratings, so yeah, sure, why not?
of two girls and their quest
it
to
is
find
pronounced?
hope in a bleak and dying world.
Fall last year. I mean, I do like bleak and or dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. So next time we'll watch Girls Last Tour,
Or Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko.
or Girls in Old German helmets keeping the hope alive.
Or Moe Blobs being sad.
Can't beat that.
You really can't, no.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye forever.